You step up to this brand new coronation of King Charles III. It's interesting to note how things, as I often say here on the show, simply repeat themselves. History repeats itself. One of the biggest, sort of stories of the last coronation was how the fact that the late Duke of Edinburgh, Prince Philip, insisted, arranged and organised the inclusion of BBC TV cameras for the very first time inside the coronation. Of course, not everything was filmed. And then there was just a very special version filmed in colour exclusively for the Queen. Of course, you've now seen that online because they graciously let other people see it. Isn't it nice to know those inner secrets, though? I often wonder what the Queen must have thought seeing herself on the small screen for the first time in colour. Remember, this is 1953. Colour really didn't kick in over here until the 60s, if you could afford it. But as ever, as I say, it's all about history and looking back. And the bottom line is there was another Prince of Wales who was far more forward-thinking than even the Duke of Edinburgh. Let me explain. Hi, good morning, Neil Sean here in the very heart of London. Nice to have your company. As I say, it's lovely looking back, isn't it, and seeing exactly how people did things differently. I often say here on the show, the only difference between looking back and now is that when you think about it, we just have more technology. There's more things available, even if you look at, say, like forensic science, you look at those old police dramas and you think, how did they find them with the fingerprints? Look at the technology now. But when we look back at one of our favourite royals, the scandalous Prince of Wales, Bertie, he was a man actually that did push the monarchy into the realm that we know today. You see, it was his decision to start allowing people to sell his postcard, pictures of him for the general public, because he realised that they needed to know what he looked like. How could they have possibly seen him? Now, he did also persuade his late mother, Queen Victoria, to allow to be filmed very briefly at certain places like Balmoral and Buckingham Palace, and of course on her own Jubilee. But what was interesting here was he was very keen himself, let's not forget, this is nearly 70 years previously, to having cameras inside Westminster Abbey. But the technology at the time wouldn't allow it. So what he did decide to do was make sure that he befriended all the newsreel channels of the day. This included a very early version of Pathé News. You see, he realised that as he was touring around Europe, they were far ahead than over here in the United Kingdom. And their European royalty was far better known, all thanks to the brand new medium of media, as it were. Not only that, he perfectly encouraged people to sort of satirize him in those magazines of the day like Punch, because he knew that this would connect with the British public. If he was seen as good-humoured, good fun, wasn't ready to sue or anything like that, then as he went out and about on royal business, people would enjoy it. In fact, you could say that Edward, or Bertie as he was affectionately known in the family, was truly the very first media king. He was the one that loved to be on camera. And if you watch some of the early footage, which some of it is actually available on YouTube, you can see that he's looking around, ready to play up for the camera. In fact, there are rehearsals where he gets in and out of a carriage, making sure that the cameraman has it the first and second take. So while we look at this new digital platform age with the emojis for the coronation, the digital platforms of YouTube, Instagram, Substack, Twitter, which all the British monarchy are now fully across, they truly have someone else in their family to thank for it. And that truly was the Prince of Wales. He kick-started it all and made sure that literally everybody understood and knew how the British monarchy looked. As ever, it's all about just repeating yourself, but in a different way, isn't it? Neil Sean in the very heart of London.